Today we're fishing at St. Lawrence River, upstate New York. A beautiful river, one of the most famous river for carp fishing in America. Absolutely breathtaking view. We choose to fish this spot in Waddington area. Apparently it's one of the most visited area for carp fishing in general. St. Lawrence River in general holding one of the biggest fish or the biggest fish in the area. The state record, the New York state record, is from this lake apparently back to the 60s or 70s, I don't even know.
My name is Tanner Smith and I was born and raised in Waddington. This river is one of the best rivers I've ever fished. There's tons of nature around and it's just so beautiful. I was born and raised here. You know, I've been fishing since I was 3 or 4, you know, just off a dock fishing for gobies and perch with a little Scooby-Doo pole. The biggest fish so far is 34 pounds. I just love fishing. I've caught so many big fish and I'm so grateful for it. It's kind of amazing, you know, we don't know how lucky we are right here and just how many fish we can catch and how big they are, and just it's crazy.
This session I'm fishing it with Tanner, local guy, very talented carp fisher. I've met with him last year at the Six Packs tournament, and he knows what he's doing. So, you know, guys, it's one of the best things we can do is you just trust the local guy, because you cannot go wrong with that.
He hit me up probably a couple weeks ago and asked, you know, he's coming fishing up here, you know, would you do some pre-baiting for me and you can fish with me, and you know, we're gonna have a camera crew and all that. So I've learned a lot from him. You know, we kind of just learning stuff from each other, you know, new things. It's pretty awesome just to be able to do something like this.
Casted out 4 rods. He's fishing with 2, so technically 6 between 2 of us. 15 to 20 yards out is pretty much shore fishing. Tanner just showed me a rig with 10 pieces of corn in there. I was like, no man, it's not real. He convinced me to put like 4 plus 2 plastic one on it, and I cast it out like, no man, it's never gonna work. Within 10 minutes, you believe it or not, I got a bite on it. I can easily say I caught the smallest carp he have ever seen in his lake, and he's fishing in the lake like more than 10 years. So I'm embarrassed. I can put it that way. I'm pretty embarrassed. Four of different rigs I'm using. Two of them is inline, two of them is a running rig. One of the running rig I used 4 Kerner corn and 2 plastic corn. The second rod is 4-ounce lead, it's an inline one, 2 normal corn with 1 plastic one. The third one is just a wafter, and the number 4 is again is a 5-ounce lead, very balanced wafter with a little bit of like half of the pop up the top of it. Casted out all of my rods, and within 10 minutes I got an enormous run, like a running train, like really strong, like on the right left side, and I couldn't believe how lucky I am, like within 10 minutes. I thought it's going to be a beast. First time I have laid my eye on it, I realized that's a small fish. After netting it, it weighed 12 pounds. We released the fish. Still happy with the result, but a little bit disappointed with the size. So we'll see how the rest of the day will do.
We caught probably around 20 fish. Not too bad, good start, but you know, just kind of small. But I'm hoping we'll be able to get in some bigger ones. But it finally kicked off when this one run, you know, you just started to hear it and everybody looked and the rod was pretty much almost in the water, you know, bank stick half bent over, just ripping off, and just, you know, you just pick up the rod and it just pulling and pulling and pulling. Then you turn it and you get a couple of cranks on it, and then it's on, it doubles that and just pulls it back out, and it's just crazy, you know. And when you finally get it in, it's, you know, it was about a 20-pounder, but it just kind of kicked it off and started catching fish. So we didn't catch a ton of fish or big fish, but I know at least my fish was bigger than Ben's biggest fish, so I guess it's all right. You know, pretty good.
Sum it up for what happened today is for the rest of the day we'll try to catch a carp bigger than 25, and tomorrow definitely I'm coming back with some ideas I have in mind. I'm gonna upgrade my gear, and I'm definitely shooting for a 30 plus pounder tomorrow, and well, let's see how it goes. Compared to Europe, the fish here is much stronger, longer, and much more dynamic than the fish we used to back home. Here they fight for their life. The natural food source here for carp is very wide, from zebra mussels, different kind of crabs. Therefore, their mouth looks just bigger than normally in Europe, and the mouth looks like so fresh and so untouched.
So this morning, I didn't catch any, or pretty much zero. Ben was catching them all. You know, he had somewhere around 6 or 7, and he was doing real well.
One of the first fish we caught in the morning was unusual, a little bit unusual pattern of scales. It was still a common, but slightly different looking than the rest of the commons. Yesterday we decided to stick around here and try to go for bigger fish. And today I caught a 28.6 early morning. It was pretty a good fight, like 10 minutes fight. I am a little bit disappointed because that's not the 30 plus we have been aiming for from this morning on. 28.6, still a good fish. Most of the time I would be happy with, especially in this environment. Wild fish give up a good fight.
So Ben was feeling a little bit bad for me, so he let me take one of his rods I had a fish on. So I was fighting the fish, and don't you know, about a minute in the fight, one of my rods goes off. So he goes and takes mine, and we're fighting and fighting, and we finally get each other's in, and like it was like within 30 seconds we got each other's in, and it was really cool. You know, mine was a little bit bigger. Mine was around 20, his was around 16 or 17, but it was just really cool to get a double and kind of kick off the morning.
We're fishing here at Ogdensburg in St. Lawrence River, very close to the Canadian border. The place we're trying to catch some carp is very deep water, very difficult water, full with snags and full with different kind of weed and different kind of challenging big rocks under the water. So it's going to be a tough area to catch carp. First day, I'm not going to expect any decent fish. We're going to do like a really heavy baiting because we know there's a lot of carp in here.
We could only keep them here for an hour or two maybe. And you could see we were catching and all of a sudden they'd eat all our bait and then they'd be gone for a while. When they come in, there's a lot of them. They love to just eat all your bait and move on. It's hard to keep them here. It's very difficult to fish here. There's a really big weed bed next to where Ben's fishing, and that's cost him a few fish. But in front of me, I don't have many weeds, but this used to be like an old dock, and it used to spread up the whole entire bank. And so there's big old wooden pillars and zebra mussels everywhere. So it's really hard to keep the fish up and away from them, because if they get down in them, you snap off 90% of the time.
After quite a few of the small ones, high teens, 15 to like 25s, like mid-20s, I managed to get a 29.2 this morning. The fish was typically a St. Lawrence fish. Moving very fast and very quick straight to the weed side. Took me a good 5 to 10 minutes actually to get him out of the weed side, but afterwards I passed the snaggy area, which was another couple of minutes fight, and at the end of the day I managed to land it. I'm pretty happy with the fish, even though I wasn't able to beat Tanner's 30.2. Funny things could happen in St. Lawrence once in a while. Tanner, the guy I'm fishing with, likes to keep one of his rod in very close range, like 10-15 yards out, baiting it with corn, very heavy. Completely honest, most of the time he's having difficulties with the ducks, so the ducks can give him some serious headache going into the swim and just eat as many corn as they can.
There is lots of water in New York State to fish. You can fish pretty much anywhere, especially the St. Lawrence. Just thinking about how big the river is separating Canada and America, it's just an absolute massive river with lots of fish, and it's just awesome.
Fishing at St. Lawrence is always a pleasure. One of the best, or possibly the best river I have ever fished in my life. This time I couldn't manage a 40+ carp, but I really hope one day I'll come back and my dream can come true. Honestly, the river and the view, it's just breathtaking. The sunset you see here, I don't think anywhere else in the world going to be as beautiful as the one you can see here.